Hello everyone, and hello gamers in particular. I'm very sorry for the lack of gaming videos recently, but don't worry, we'll be getting right back into it. I did the testing the NES video, and we're getting right back into the gaming stuff with this video because I've finished my exams and the summer is coming, which means I have time to A, go to car boot sales, and B, make videos about the stuff I pick up in them. So all round, that is really, really cool. Also, that big project that I've been talking about, that combines two of my major interests on my channel, and gaming is one of them. So that's going to be awesome for all you people that like my gaming videos. There's some awesome gaming stuff to come. But anyway, today is a simple little video, just covering a few basic little things. I don't know what I'm going to call the video yet, but today I've got some Game Boy Colour stuff to show you that I've picked up recently. I paid a total of £11 for all of this stuff, and I'm going to show you everything that I got. So, after a small adjustment to the camera's colour, because it was just looking crazy, I can now show you this. This is the first of my pickups. This is a purple Game Boy Colour. You can see that it is this one, the O next to the C there. Yeah, so it's a really nice colour Game Boy, and I paid £6 for this, which might sound like a lot to you guys for a car boot sale pickup. But I didn't just get the Game Boy, I did get Miss Pac-Man, the black cartridge edition, which means it works in the Game Boy Colour and gives you some colour. It actually gives you actual proper colour, not as much as an actual Game Boy Colour game though, but still it gives you colour, and it works in the old Game Boys as well, so that's quite a nice cartridge to have. I don't have that to show you at the moment because my girlfriend's borrowing it, but I might show you that in the future sometime. Yeah, so this is the Game Boy Colour. Now, why is this one special to me? Why did I go out of my way and pay £6 for this in a car boot sale? Because it's fairly obvious that I will have found a better deal further down the road for a Game Boy Colour if I was interested in picking one up. Well, this console, in this exact colour, is the first console that I ever bought out of my own money, which is awesome. I sold it later on to get the Game Boy Advance SP when that came out. Even though I loved the Game Boy Colour back then, everyone else was moving on to the Advance and the Advance SP, so it was sort of like a trend thing. If you still wanted to play with your mates, you have to get the latest, which is what we're forced into in lots of categories in society. However, when you look back at it now, you can still see that the Game Boy Colour was really, really fun, and I did prefer my Game Boy Colour than my if I could speak, I did prefer my Game Boy Colour over my Game Boy Advance SP. I thought it was generally a nicer console to own. So here's this Game Boy Colour. As you can see and hear as I drop it, it does include the battery cover, which is, believe it or not, quite a rarity for Game Boys, as I get a text message in the background. Is it a text message? No, it's a Facebook message. But anyway, that's quite a rarity on these Game Boy Colours because they're plagued by these rechargeable battery kits where you have to remove the battery cover in order to apply them. So yeah, that's a bit of a pain. But this one's got the battery cover, which is great. And it's in overall pretty good condition. You can often see some damage on the back label there, but on close inspection, there's nothing on this guy. Screen has got the odd mark here and there, but the screen's actually in better condition than my current Game Boy Colour. This is the Game Boy Colour that I use and play all the time. I still use and play a Game Boy Colour. I've been playing through some Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. But anyway, if we power this guy up, you can see that it works perfectly. There's no game in there at the moment. Let's just pop a game in there just so you can see. We might as well. Playing this through the camera screen, so it might be a little bit hard to see. I think these batteries are on the way out as well. Now, one thing I do notice about this, the battery's just gone. One thing I do notice about this Game Boy Colour is the speaker is slightly distorted. But if you do wiggle the volume knob, it does become less distorted. That is not a major issue. It sometimes does it and sometimes doesn't. I'm not planning on using this for anything special. It's just purely, I picked it up because I thought I want to hold in my hands again the Game Boy that I bought when I was younger. And not just the Game Boy, the first console I bought with my own money. So that's the purple Game Boy. I got that for £6, I believe. I can't remember if I mentioned that. I got that for £6. He wanted 5 for the Game Boy and 2 for the game. He wasn't budging, but I did manage to finally knock a quid off what he wanted. So moving on then to the second pickup. And I said when I was talking about this one that I'd find a Game Boy Colour for a better price, and indeed I did, because this was £5, but you can already see that it comes with some accessories, including this case. It's not the nicest case in the world, but nevertheless it's a case. So let me hide the Game Boy for a second and get out all of the games that was included with it. Let's see if I can find them all here. Now then, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I have no problem with it, but this Game Boy was owned by a girl, so the games are of that kind of genre. As you can see, we have Sabrina, kind of girl game. What's this, some Tweety bird thingy, again quite girly, not to stereotype or anything. Rugrats, now that's a good game to have. I love Rugrats, and I'm not sure how good that one is. And then we have the Game & Watch collection. I think this is, yeah, Game & Watch Gallery 3. So as you can see, that's one of those black carts that works in the original as well. So 4 games that it came with, all for £5, with this case. And you may be thinking, what colour is it? Well, it is the Pokemon edition, which is a very, very nice console. Now let me give you a little walkthrough of the Pokemon console if some of you haven't seen it before. Now back in the day, Nintendo used to do special edition Pokemon consoles because Pokemon was a big thing. They did a Pokemon N64 console, which looks like a standard N64, just with a blue console and some stickers on it. And they also did a Pikachu N64, which was a different shape and had Pikachu on it. Don't get confused between the Pokemon N64 and the Pikachu N64, they're both different consoles. They also did a Pikachu N64 Japanese version in orange as well, which is pretty cool. And I'm not sure if that was in Japan only, but I think maybe it was. But the point that I'm trying to get across is they did Pokemon edition of their consoles because Pokemon is so popular. And this is the Pokemon edition of the Game Boy Color. Now, I'm losing my voice slightly, so sorry if I cough or anything like that. We have yellow at the front, which is really nice. Yellow is possibly my favourite colour, Game Boy Color. This is my second favourite, the Atomic Purple. This is quite a popular colour. But yeah, yellow is probably my first favourite colour, sorry. And if I ever do find a yellow Game Boy Colour, which seemed to be slightly more rare for some reason, if I ever do find one, then I will pick it up and use it as my main Game Boy. But anyway, it's yellow in the front and blue in the back. Now, this blue in the back isn't like any other Game Boy Colour. This blue colour is only found on the Pokemon edition. Because as you can see, this one on the left, which is the one I just showed you, is purple, and this one on the right is the Pokemon one, and you can see that's blue. They look slightly more different in real life. The camera colour settings aren't doing the best today, but hey, what can you do? Okay, so moving on. Let's go down here. You can see you have the Pokemon logo. You have a blue D-pad, a green B, and a red A. Very sort of colourful, a little bit like the N64 controller. Then you have Pikachu up here, and another little Pokemon down there. And what's cool is Pikachu's cheek lights up when the power LED illuminates, which is really cool. And as you can see, if we just pop in again, this Game Boy is also fully functional. So I do not plan on keeping this, even though it is a nice collector's piece. I now have 2 Game Boys that I'm keeping. I'm keeping the purple one because it's my childhood Game Boy. Or maybe I'll sell it, who knows. I can't hold on to everything forever. But anyway, I will be selling this. I don't know what games I'll be selling it with, but if anyone's interested, let me know, because this is a really cool Game Boy, and I've played on this one for quite a long period of time testing it out, and it does work really well. Also, it does include the battery cover, and as a coincidence, when I bought it, it had Kodak batteries in it, which are the same batteries that I happen to have in my Game Boy at the moment, which is a pure coincidence. But anyway, that was my pickups video. I can't zoom any further out. I'm sitting behind the tripod. This is actually quite a cool way of doing videos. I put my arms either side of the camera and that works quite well. Let me know if you guys are into this sort of angle. If you're not into this angle and you prefer me to sit in front of the camera and hold this stuff up, then I can do that too, but I can get closer shots like this, which is really cool. So these are the two Game Boys that I picked up, £11 in total. Game Boy Colours are going for quite a nice price on eBay at the moment, so I'll probably sell them in order to raise money for a few other things that I could buy and show you. I've got plans on showing you a lot of gaming stuff, and also I've only ever done one full-on game review. Please go and check it out. It's a review of Doom 64 that I did last Halloween. I've only ever done one game review, sorry, and I am working on my next game review. It's not going to be out very soon, maybe out in August, which is quite a long way away from here. But as you guys know from the Doom 64 video, I like to put quite a large amount of effort into it as far as editing and things are concerned. So anyway, I'm rambling on in this video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. I'm a bit stuttery and whatnot today, and my voice is a bit dodgy, and sorry for any like unplanned things and the fact that I'm quite unprofessional. But anyway, it's quite strange sitting in front of three Game Boys on the same desk. And this one, even though I really like this colour, it's looking slightly dull in comparison to these other two, but this is the Game Boy that I've had with me for ages now, and I've been playing through some great Game Boy games. I take that with me quite a few places, believe it or not. I prefer playing games on there rather than games on my iPhone. I just really like buttons, and something just popped out the bottom of my chair, which is quite bizarre. But anyway, I better stop the video now because my chair appears to be falling to pieces. But anyway, hopefully you guys have enjoyed. I know I keep saying it in every video, but stay tuned for this big project that I've got planned, and it does incorporate a lot of gaming stuff, which is gonna be absolutely awesome. I bet lots of you don't have a clue what I'm on about, but some of you have already guessed correctly what I'm gonna be doing. It combines gaming and one other interest on my channel. So that's not too hard to whittle it down to what interest that is going to be. I've given you lots of clues now, and you guys can probably guess what it's going to be. But anyway, thanks very much for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next video.